Hi, this is just a quick video demonstration of the bank template. So what you can see is there's currently two sheets. The first one is instructions, and I'd recommend printing this off just for ease of reference to give you a bit more guidance as to how to use the file. The sheet you'll use most of the time is this current account, this green one. You can edit the name of that sheet if you want, and you can edit the name of the bank account in that cell there as well. Any cells in this sheet that are coloured in yellow, like these, when you click on them, what you'll see is you can't see the formula in the formula bar like you normally would, nor can you edit the cells. So if you try and edit them, you'll see this message box telling you that the cell is protected, so you can't change that. Which is good because it means you can't break it, which is perfect. It also means that you can't insert rows and columns and things like that as well, but that's actually a good thing. So the way I have a sheet like this for every single one of my bank accounts, and I check this and reference it back to my online banking every single day, which is a good thing. It tells you, you know, all times how much money you have in your account, but it's also a really good check for any fraud, anything like that. You know exactly what you're expecting. It also helps me to plan sort of where I'm going, how much cash I need in accounts and stuff like that. So the first thing that you would do to start off with is, if you have an overdraft, you can use this cell here in H5 to enter what the overdraft value is. So if you have an overdraft of £1,000, you can just enter in 1,000 into that cell. Even though it's an overdraft, you don't need to put any negative numbers in. All these numbers go in as positives in this file. So I'll press enter, and what you'll notice is that the balance column doesn't change at all, but the available balance here takes into account what the balance is plus what your overdraft is. So even though you've got zero cash in the bank, you've actually got access to £1,000 because of the overdraft, and that will continually update. Okay, so first thing on this row 7 here would be your opening balance. So you pop in your date. So if we put in there 1st of December 2020, you'll notice on all of these cells in this column, you'll see this little yellow pop-up box which tells you what format to enter the date in, which is always going to be DD/MM/YY. And you'll see that every single cell gets formatted, the date gets formatted in this way. Okay, so then we decide, do we have cash in the bank or is it overdrawn? So if we have cash in the bank, we'd put the balance in the in column. So if we had £500 in the bank, we'd enter 500 into the in column. And you'll see that it calculates a balance of £500 and a balance available of £1,500 because that includes a £1,000 overdraft. Alternatively, if we were already overdrawn, we could enter the number in the out box. If we entered 500 in there, that would tell us the balance is minus 500. And that the balance available is only 500 because we've used half of that overdraft limit already. Okay, so then we just start ploughing in all of the transactions. So it may well be that we have to pay rent or a mortgage. That might come out on the 5th of December, and that might be 500. So we're now at our overdraft limit. So let's hope it's payday soon. So if we put in payday, and that might be on the 10th of December, and that money would be coming in. So that would be, let's say that's 1,500. So we put that in. You can see this balance changes on every row. So the very last row is the one that tells you what your current balance is. It also tells you at the top here, your current balance is 500. Okay, which then means that balance available is 1,500 because we've got 500 cash in the bank and then £1,000 as the overdraft. Okay, we can then put more transactions in. So we could say we went to the supermarket, and that was, say, on the 7th of December, and we might have spent £100. Okay, we might pay our mobile phone bill, and that might be on the 15th of December, and that might be about 35. Okay, so you can see that overall our balance is £365, but we've still got the overdraft of 1,000 that we can dip into. Now, what you can also see is that these dates are out of order. So at the top we have this sort button, and you can literally just click on that button, sort, and it will sort all of these dates into date order based on this column here. So what you can see here is that when we went to the supermarket, that would have sent us over our overdraft limit. So our overdraft was 1,000, which we were already at when we paid the rent, but that would have took us over our overdraft limit. So this is where it's really good when you're doing sort of planning on where you're going to spend cash, because you can see when you need to maybe transfer some money from a savings account, or you need to not go to the supermarket that day, you need to wait a couple more days till payday. I use this to forecast what's happening in the future as well, just to make sure, and because sometimes when all your direct debits go out on different dates, it's difficult to keep a track of, even though you've got X cash in your bank, how much is that you've got left to spend that isn't spoken for at some point in the future. So I use it for that. I then tend to use this asterisk column, and I will literally just pop in an asterisk into that column there. So the asterisk is either on the calculator pad or it's above the number 8 on your keyboard. So I would pop in asterisks when these transactions have occurred, so I can see which ones are my forecasting ones, the future ones. It then helps me to reconcile that to the bank account. Obviously here you can enter in any notes at any point, that if you wanted to say, what you bought at the supermarket that day, those kinds of things. So it's however you need to use it. Okay, so I hope you found that useful.